What is your default thought? When you are bored, what is the first thing you tend to fantasize about? Book characters and fictional worlds I wish I could live in. Eating. Same. No disorder or anything. I just eat when I'm bored. I'm just suddenly hungry because I'm bored. Edit. That's funny because now everyone is talking to everyone about talking to yourself. Is it like a conversation or more just a monologue? When I talk to myself it's usually just me saying everything and thinking out loud and reacting to it. Kinda helps you think about your own feelings a bit differently, although it's hard to say why. I'm like imagining myself in front of me or something, and I'm making a conversation in my head with me. I sometimes have a theology argument inside my head. I like to call it the battle between the retardo and la demon. Stealing the retardo and la demons for my band name, thanks. Winning the lottery. And deciding with whom I will share it and whom I will not. And I'm guessing you / haven't a clue arts over? Being a musician. It's never too late. Existential dread. Like what is the meaning of life type shit. How would someone from 300 years ago react to an iPhone? I was just talking about this with my mom. Like how Abraham Lincoln would react to how the U.S. is now, or how someone would react to a rocket going to space. Abe Lincoln would not be impressed. Definitely. The guy hunted vampires for fuck's sake. I think of something embarrassing I did in the past and then make up a song about how stupid I am. I'm a fucking idiot. I really am. And instead I'm holding ham. And drink warm Mountain Dew. Dragons. Username checks out. I write songs in my head. Unfortunately, I can't play any instruments, so I have all these lyrics and melodies and nothing I can do with them. Perhaps you could ask a friend or commission someone to help you with that. I'm sure something great could come out of it. I'm poor and don't interact with anyone in real life. I was in a band for years, but I was only the singer. I know how to construct a song, just can't play anything. Finding my soulmate. I used to daydream about this. I had met a boy when I was in kindergarten and was convinced he was my soulmate, but he had moved away and I knew his first name, but not his last name. So every day I'd dream up scenarios of how I'd meet him. Would he be in my coffee shop and we'd look up and just know? Or will I find him on my trip to Japan? As he moved to Japan I'll cause his dad was in the military. I didn't realize how much this was my default. How this maybe today will be the day got me out of my shell, out of my house. I'm not even making this up, but a few years ago /r/AskReddit asked who is your white whale. I told my story. A redditor told me he was a pie, and if I gave him a little more information he'd find him for me. He did. In 25 minutes. And it crushed my soul. My soulmate was still good looking. He was still kind. And he was married and absolutely devoted to his autistic child. Reality came crashing down. And I fell into a depression realizing he wasn't the one for me. That I wouldn't have a magical moment bumping into him and having a wonderful life together. I stopped having good / realistic daydreams after that. I stopped dreaming about love. While I don't feel depressed in everything else, I do realize that I've stopped being as adventurous or leaving my house as much. A part of me just wonders what's the point, I guess. This really hit me. It's sad how we feel that we are meant for someone so much, but find out the opposite. I think many people go through this in finding themselves. I have a whole fake life with its own plot that I just add scenarios to. Me too. I'm mentally dating someone that doesn't know I exist. Actually he doesn't exist either. I just make up the perfect scenarios and I always say or do the perfect thing. So very far from reality. Yes, I thought I was the only one. And you have a bunch of made up friends too with whole backstories and emotions that you can have full blown arguments with. I don't argue, but I have amazing talent, extreme intellect, and I'm drop dead gorgeous, and I don't know it. I'm none of these things. Haha. Why do I wanna hug you guys? I'm laughing so hard reading all responses like these, mostly because they are also relatable, and then I suddenly feel like crying, but not really. IDK. Human brains are weird. My future? Like my little 10-year plan. Also I fantasize about people talking behind my back. Saying nice things usually. Sometimes saying not so nice things, but rarely. Sex. Quite a lot. Imagine some sex I'd like to have. Or remember some sex I have had. Think about how nice it was. Get a little high from the thought. Look at Mr. Attractive over here who had sex. Him usually having various superpowers and coming up with little scenarios in my head. Like I'm a bystander in a bank robbery, but little do these guys know, I can manipulate gravity. Stick out my hands and the robbers just collapse to slop on the floor, crushed under their own weight as I multiply gravity by 15,000 times right where they are standing. Or another fun daydream, I wake up and I'm a kid again, but with all the memories and knowledge I've gained throughout my adult life. Someone's been playing a little too much Signal lately. Dungeons and Dragons. I DM a weekly game for my friends that's been going on for over 2 years now, and whenever I space out, my mind always goes to D&D first. I revisit how many things I've done wrong, until I feel emotionally numb enough to keep going without breaking down. Either fapping or flying. Why not both? Flapping. Joke ideas, but I usually overthink. If people will laugh I just get sad and start thinking I'm not funny. I've always wanted to make a video game. I'll often have ideas, and when I'm bored I think about features or characters or gameplay modes for whatever terrible game idea I have at the time. Mostly boobs I guess. We are simple men. I'm no man, but I very much agree that boobs are good to think about. As a guy, IDK why I like them, but I do. Oh. But wait, can't you just look down and squeeze your own? I find it surprising as to how you get any work done the whole day. They are right there. I mean, do gay dudes find their own dicks attractive? I don't find my own boobs attractive, but I love other girls' boobs. Sometimes when I'm bored I'll Google bars and restaurants in other countries, look at their menus, and try to decide what I would get if I was there. I find it enjoyable and relaxing, and who knows, maybe one day I'll actually be able to eat at one of these places. Sometimes when I'm bored I use Street View in another country out of curiosity about how things look. You need to check out Giargusa.com.